Hello, and welcome to my channel. It's the Network Specialist. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell so that you know each and every time I upload a video. So today we will be doing part two of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, episode 10, Meditation Mediation. Okay, so I'm going to pick up right where I left off. Hey, sound checking that. Thank you so much for being here, listening in the bushes, sis. And again, everything I will discuss in this video is alleged and in my very own opinion, used for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so now I just have to figure. So where I picked up from yesterday is, I was just talking about the fact that these ladies they put on these fabulous events and then they're ruined with all of the messy drama, and I just wish that these ladies could form a genuine sister circle. I would absolutely love to see that on my TV screen, okay? Instead of all the drama, all the fake friendships. It would really be nice to see that. So when they had the open forum conversations, I really don't have a lot of feedback for that. Just because, again, I'm just kind of tired of talking about Shamia and Portia's friendship. Okay. But I will say this: Portia and Shamia let the same person that they just had beef with 2.5 seconds ago come between their alleged friendship. Because I know at this point that they are no longer friends, but on the show, from what we're watching, supposedly they're still best friends. Okay. So, but we have since heard that they are no longer friends in this present day and time. So whether it is genuine or is, as far as the friendship, or it's one-sided, you should not let someone you just met come in between a friendship that has been built over a period of decades. That's it. That's all. Okay. But Cruella, aka Angela Oakley, wants to be known as the fixer, the person who brings people back together. I don't know who delegated her to be the fixer, but that's just something that she decided that she would be on this show. When in reality, she is the bone carrier and the instigator that is tearing all these friendships apart. And at one point, people were defending her, saying that her and Drew were good friends even before the show. And she is just defending her friend. But now it seems like she has kicked Drew to the curb. I mean, she didn't say this. I'm just going by her actions. Hey, Mama Bees, thank you so much for being here. I'm just going by what I see. It seems as if she has kicked Drew to the curb and she's Team Portia now. The same person that said if she didn't leave her alone, she would F her husband. Like, make it make sense. This is some BS. Okay. So, guys, I'm really going to need your feedback on this because I think things are really going to get interesting. Okay. I'm looking at this in a different way. So, watching Portia, because initially Portia was supposed to be the star of this show. Okay. They really bigged up Portia and had us just really looking forward to Portia living in this mansion, being married. Okay, scratch that. Portia's going through a divorce. No problem. So then we thought that we would see Portia's divorce play out on the show. Sorry, guys, I accidentally muted. Let me move that out of the way. So we thought that we were going to see her divorce play out on the show. That didn't happen because number one, Portia can't talk about Simon on the show. She can't film in the house. Now Simon is in ICE custody. So, I mean, there's not a lot going on there. So Portia had to come up with a plan B because at this point, she did not have no storyline. So what I seen Portia doing is trying to get to know the newbies because behind the scenes, her and Shamia just wasn't rocking like that anymore. So she was trying to find a new friend on the show because, first of all, she has Cynthia, but Cynthia isn't messy. She needs a messy ally on the show. Okay. We already know that it wasn't going to be Kelly. It's not going to be Kelly because Kelly and Shamia, to me, have a genuine friendship. Okay. They have a genuine friendship. And not only that, at the beginning of this season, Kelly asked Portia point blank, why did she take that woman's husband? Okay. So she wasn't feeling Kelly from the jump. So I seen that she spent time with Britt. So I was thinking, okay, Britt was going to be her ally, but Britt is just not, you know, Britt does not compared to Portia. She's slow. She doesn't know how to read. Even when she tries to read and she thinks she ate, she really didn't eat. Okay. Like she just doesn't know how to read like, the OGs. Okay. She tries, but it's just not in her. Okay. So she figured she would go against Angela, when she was trying to get to know Britt. But once she seen that Britt was not her cup of tea, and the way that Angela was getting a heads up on her, like, Angela is getting all of this attention on social media, or whenever she felt like, she couldn't beat Angela, if you can't beat them, join them. So at this point, hey to Latrice, thank you so much for being here, sis. Hey Aries girl, thank you so much for being here. So I think Portia made a decision that she's going to team up with Angela Oakley, which is why, and I said on my, live yesterday that I believe that Angela Oakley is like a fan of Portia's because at the end of the day, you know, Portia is not quite an OG, but Portia is a longtime cast member on this show. So low key, Angela is a fan. So once, Portia seeing how Angela was moving, and again, Angela was giving her a run for her money, you know what I'm saying? Portia decided to kind of team up with Angela Oakley. And that's what it's giving right now. At her event, hey Paula, thank you so much for being here. At her event, Angela Oakley, after the whole internet went crazy when Portia said what she said. And the reason why I believe Portia said what she said, because whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, Portia needed to get in the game because everybody was saying that Portia wasn't giving anything. So obviously, if we could see it while we're watching the show, Portia knew it too, even though this was filmed over a year ago, a while back. Portia could see it too. And the thing about being on reality TV, you have to have a storyline. And to have a storyline, you have to have a strategy. Okay. So these women have to have a strategy to go along with their storyline. Portia's been in this game a long time. She know how this goes. Okay. So Portia kind of decided because again, in real life, at this point in time, her and Shamia ain't rocking. Okay. It is what it is. They're faking on the show. But the reality of it is that her and Shamia are not really friends. So Portia was just feeling like, she didn't have any allies on the show. And Cynthia is not always she's not always filming, and then when she is, she's trying to be the peacemaker, and that's just not who Portia is. Like I said, Portia needs an ally with somebody who's messy, okay, who can give the views. And as much as we love Cynthia, to be quite honest, she's a little bit on the boring side, okay? We come here for the mess, whatever the case may be, just a little classy shade, whatever the case may be. So Cynthia ain't bringing that. So again, Portia is low key. And I don't know if you guys seen when Angela was doing an interview or she was hosting on a show. Angela said the person that she can do without on this show, even though she has not made her appearance, is Phaedra. You know why it's Phaedra? Because once Phaedra actually show up, she's gonna change the game. Like I don't know what Phaedra gonna bring, to this dynamic, but at the end of the day, we gonna have freaking back. Okay. So Angela ain't feeling that because she was getting close to Portia. Now Phaedra's back. Now the dynamics is gonna change. And I think Phaedra, obviously, from what Angela said, is probably going to go after Angela. So that's why she made that statement. So even though it's been kind of hard for me to watch, and my sis, sound check the net, she's kind of feeling the same way. But I'm hoping that once Phaedra makes her appearance, that she's gonna pull it back. She's gonna get everything together, and we're gonna get what we're looking for in this season of RHOA. At least that's my hopes. Okay, we haven't seen her yet. We don't know what she's bringing to the equation, but it's definitely, going to turn things up a notch, in my opinion. But Angela, I know a lot of you guys think that Angela is carrying this show. I don't believe that at all. I don't feel like Angela is carrying this show. I really like what um Drew is bringing to this episode. I really like what Drew is bringing to this episode, but I think that Angela switched out on Drew. Okay. She act like her and Drew was such good friends and she was defending her friend, but now it seems like Drew is out there all by herself. So to me, Angela is just more of an opportunist. She is just, going along to get along, and she's a friend to no one. And I said that yesterday on my live. Portia is no friend to anyone, and Angela is not anybody's friend. They're there to get a check. That's it. That's all. But I am very curious to know how this dynamic is going to change once Phaedra shows up. But I want to know what you guys think. Like, what do you guys think about all of this? Because, I'm thinking hard trying to figure this shit out because right now, I'm just kind of bored with the show. And I know there has to be more. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. And Aries Girl said, I think Angela is the most clocked in and giving more of her life. Really? I don't think she's giving more of her life because if she was giving more of her life, we would probably see how much of a narcissist her husband really is. And I said this on my live yesterday. I really don't like when women give you know, they give other women so much smoke, but they don't have that same smoke for their husbands. And I feel like Charles embarrasses Angela a lot, low key. Okay. So, but she don't have that smoke for him, but she has the smoke for all of these ladies. Like one by one, she has came for all of these ladies. And I ain't mad at her because you need a strategy to be on these reality TV shows. And obviously, she's bringing her A game, which is why I think that Portia is teaming up with Angela instead of trying to go against Angela at this point. Hey, Gracie, thank you so much for being here. And Aries Girl says, I think Angela and Charles are both narcs. She's probably trying to keep it cute for the camera. Absolutely. But you know what else she said, Aries Girl? She says, the reason why, and I don't know in what context she said this, but she said the reason why she knows how to snap off at these ladies is because she had to know how to do that to be able to snap back at Charles. Because I think that they have these same type of back and forths. So that's why she knows how to read, is because she's probably had to be able, to do this to her husband since day one, because Charles seems like that guy that would get on my last damn nerves. Okay. Like, it would be fun at first because Charles would be a challenge, but then it would get old. Like, I know somebody that totally reminds me of Charles in real life. And I'm a debater. Like, I really like to debate, you know. And I used to debate a lot with this guy who was a friend of mine, but then it got kind of annoying because I'm like, why every time I have a conversation with my friend, it turns into a debate? Like, I'm not your woman. Like, we shouldn't be having these deep conversations. Like, we should just be having surface level conversations. So that type of behavior gets very annoying at some point. So I can imagine what Angela goes through at home. And I shared an example yesterday about the fact that Charles asked her, you only get like 5 minutes. They only show like 5 minutes when you're taping. Okay. And what showed during her, you know, scene with Charles, he asked her, did she wash her hands? And I talked about this yesterday, like, if she's a clean person, you wouldn't ask her if she washed her hands because you know she's a clean person. So you would just automatically assume that your wife washed her hands. Because by you doing that, it's low key making people think that she might be nasty. Like, why would you ask her that? That's low key shade, in my opinion. And Aries Girl says Charles just wants his kitchen clean so he can cook. Cool, cool, cool. But again, if my husband asked me that while we were filming, when we got off that down, and when we stopped filming, baby, I would have read that nickel down. I'm just saying, I would have read him down because, baby, you already know I'm your wife. You know I'm clean. Have you ever known me not to wash my hands before I'm going to touch some food? Like, I'm just saying, like, I pay attention to very small details, okay? Hey, Aunt Trisha, thank you so much for being here. So, no, you know, and I kind of feel like, it's okay to give a man a second chance, but I always have in the back of my mind, okay, what did that Negro do the first time while you left his ass? Okay? When you spin the block, it's a reason why you left. So I'm always thinking about that in the back of my head. And then there's low key rumors out here that he had a baby. Okay, she confirmed, whether it's true or not, that he didn't have a baby on her. But what she also confirmed was the fact that he cheated. She said he didn't have a baby on her, but he cheated. Okay. So if nothing else, we still know that Charles is a cheater and you gave him a second chance. No problem. If you want to give your man a second chance, that's cool. But you ain't finna get too many chances. Like, I done gave you a second chance and you still come back with these type of antics. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, I'm not saying that she's kind of begging. It's almost like she's settling, okay, for Charles. That's all I'm saying. And Mama B says, please hit that like button, share, and comment, please. And thank you so much. So I got my eye on Angela. I got my eye on Charles. Can't wait to see Phaedra because I think things are getting ready to be kicked up a notch. At least me and Soundcheck and Net, we hoping so because some parts of this season is hard to watch. Okay. That fake stuff with Shamia and Portia. I think another reason why Shamia is hanging with Angela so much is because she's trying to get past that narrative that she is Portia's lapdog. So I think she's trying to get away from that narrative. So she's kind of, separating herself from Portia, even though we know that in the present day, they're no longer friends, but she's still pretending on the show. Like I noticed when Portia was so upset at that dinner table when she got that phone call that Dennis was filming with Drew, and she kind of ruined dinner before she got drunk at the pool party. When she got upset and she went to her room, where did Shamia go? She didn't go over there to comfort her so-called best friend. She went to say bye to Drew. That's where she went. So I paid attention to all of that. If her and Portia was supposed to be such good friends, they're best friends, and this is her birthday trip, and she's upset at her birthday trip, Drew, I would have went to console my bestie. I'm just saying. That's where I would have went. So Cynthia ultimately was the only one that went to check on Portia, even though it's supposed to be all about Portia because this is her birthday trip. I'm just saying. And Mama B says, was he being cheeky and trying to be funny? Charles is always trying to be funny. I get that. He's a low key comedian. I get that. But I think there should be unspoken rules when it comes to you and your husband. It's just certain things you don't do and you just don't say. And like, if I got to teach you that, something is wrong with this picture. Like, you should already know this. And Aries Girl says, exactly. I think Angela just likes being married to a former NBA player. Charles is not husband material. There you go, Aries Girl. That part. She just wants to say, because she came out the gate saying, my husband is a legend. Baby, if your husband is a legend, you ain't got to say it. We would already know that. I'm just saying. That's it. That's all. So, guys, that's all I got. That's all I got. I'm just paying close attention. I mentioned yesterday that I thought it was kind of disrespectful the way that Shamia sat up, when they were doing the meditation. Like, if you're a person who meditates, you know that that's very disrespectful. You know, she could have not participated, she could have walked out. And even when Kelly went over there to, console her, that was just a little disrespectful. But however, this is TV. It is what it is. And, they got to get their mess in. And Annette says Charles has always been an ass. Exactly. And I can just see that in him. You know, guys like that, again, like I can go toe to toe with them. You know what I'm saying? I can go toe to toe with them, but as far as being in a relationship with them, oh, never that. Never that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you would just get tired. And like I said, that's the only reason why Angela know how to read because she been reading her husband for the last 10 years. Okay? That's why she's so good at it. Even though she's a newbie, because she been reading her husband for over 10 years. And when you with somebody like that, I mean, you just have to know how to clap back because they coming. That's all I'm saying. They coming, you know? And when he said that, oh, he want a front row seat when her and Portia have a fight? Really? You want a front row seat? Come on now. I don't think that was appropriate either. Like, who has beat? Like, what were you saying? What were you trying to say, Charles? Everybody already know. They say Portia is a beast out here. We've heard what they said about when she was filming Portia Family Matters. They say glasses was being thrown. They say it was wild. They said it was crazy. Portia is a monster. Everybody done heard the rumors, but you want to have a front row seat to see your wife fight Portia. So again, I can read between the lines. You want to see your wife get her ass beat. I'm out, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you did not like the video on the way in, please like the video on the way out. And if you just happen to be catching the replay, please like the video and subscribe to the channel and drop down in the comments so that we can keep this conversation going. Thank you guys so much for being here, and bye for now.